Hey, Bludgeon here. Today I want to tell you about one of my favorite games these days, Once Upon a Galaxy. I'm going to teach you how it works, and I'll play through a game so you can see for yourself. This is an auto battler game in the same kind of broad genre as Hearthstone Battlegrounds, Storybook Brawl, or widening out a little bit, Teamfight Tactics, or the Bazaar. It's that kind of game. You're going to play against 5 other players in a series of 1v1 battles. The loser is going to lose hearts, and if you ever run out of hearts, you're out of the game, and the remaining players will continue to battle it out until only one is left standing, and that is the winner of the game. You're going to play the game by choosing characters to put on your team, and those characters are going to attack the enemy characters in a random way that you don't control. So the control in the game just comes from choosing the characters and placing them in the right position on your team. Okay, with that said, let's just jump straight into a game. The first thing is you need to choose a captain. And so each player will choose a different captain, and they all have different abilities. I'm going to pick Athena to start with, and I'll just explain how she works. Okay, so before I explain Athena, let me just explain what happens. All right, so on your turn, I guess you could call it that, you have what are called shops. And so it's turn 1 right now, and I'm going to choose one of these 3 characters to add to my team. And then I'll get another shop of 3 different characters, and I can choose another one. All right, so let me choose Jealous Stepsisters here. So I drag her down, I put her wherever I want. And now I've got my second shop of turn 1, and I can choose one of these characters, and I'll explain exactly what they do in a moment. All right, let me choose Puck here. Okay, so I can arrange them however I want, and that's part of the strategy of the game, is deciding where they're gonna go. Okay, I'm gonna do it like this, and let me show you why. So Puck, let's take a look at Puck. Puck is a support character, and support characters kind of boost the 2 characters that are in front of them. So Puck is in the back line here, and he's going to give +3 attack to Jealous Stepsisters. There's nobody here, so that nobody can absorb that buff. All right, and so that's it. That's all I can do. It's time to battle. Here are the other players that I'm against. You can see everybody has 5 hearts, and so I'm going to be up against Indifferent for this battle. So when I click battle, our characters are just going to start attacking each other. So it's going to be a 50-50 chance whether I attack first or whether my opponent attacks first. And characters will attack starting from left to right, starting from the front line and then going to the back line. All right, so let's click battle. Okay, and there we go. Now in this case, it's a tie. None of us have any characters surviving, and so neither of us are going to lose any hearts. And we move on to turn 2. Okay, a couple things that I want to explain. One is Jealous Stepsisters has a quest. So some characters have a quest, and when they complete that quest, you'll get a treasure, which I'll show you once we actually get one. So quest, I deal 6 damage in a single fight. Okay, well last time she didn't quite manage it, so her quest hasn't been completed. But you notice her attack is actually higher now than it was before, and so is Puck's. Why is that? Well, that's because of my captain. So Athena says when one of your characters is KO'd or killed, give it +2 attack, and that's permanent. Give your characters that survive a fight +2 health. So both of these characters were KO'd, and so they both got permanent +2 attack, which is going to be quite nice for the Stepsisters because now she has 6 attack, which means she just has to like hit or basically get hit one time, and that will trigger her quest. Okay, now let's take a look at what's going on up here. Now I've got a silver Jealous Stepsisters. What does that mean? Well, characters can be upgraded. So there's bronze, silver, and gold. The silver version just has like +1/+1 compared to the base one, and that will replace the Stepsisters that I already have. And it will also give me a bonus shop. So essentially, upgrading a character from bronze to silver is a free move. So let me just do that. I'll drag Jealous Stepsisters down here. And there she is. And now I've got another shop. All right, let's take a look here. Here's Evil Stepmother. She has a quest to recruit 3 villains. Puss in Boots, Hunt, which means if he attacks and kills something, then give my slot +1 attack. Let me just take that to show you how that works. And okay, busted bot. Farewell, summon a 2/2 bot pile. That means when he dies, summon another character. So let's take him. So I'll show you a couple things happening here. I'm gonna put Puss in Boots in the front left spot because that's the most likely to get a chance to attack, because characters attack from left to right. And they attack a random character in the front line, or that they start with the front line. If there's nobody in the front line, then they will attack the back line. So if Puss in Boots can manage to attack and kill something or KO something, then the slot, this actual slot, will get +1 attack, which means whatever goes in that slot will get that +1 attack. Okay, and then we'll watch to see the farewell ability. So when Busted Bot gets killed, we'll see the 2/2 bot pop up, and we'll probably get the quest done for Stepmother. All right, so we can see here that these two have lost a fight. I'll explain how the heart damage works a bit later. Let's just go to battle. There's the farewell ability. And my opponent also had some farewell summon characters. And so, all right, I lost half a heart here. So what happens is if you lose a fight, then you're going to lose health. You're going to lose hearts. If your opponent has 2 or fewer characters, so 2 or 1 essentially, if they beat you and they have 1 or 2 remaining, then you lose half a heart. But if they have 3 or more remaining, and when they wipe out all of your guys, then you lose a whole heart. Okay. So I only lost half a heart because there was just 1 guy left over there. All right, so there's the quest triggering on the Stepmother. Now I'm going to get to choose a treasure. So there are 3 options here, and I can pick one of them. So Worn Shield says give +4 health to the first character you recruit each turn. That's kind of nice. Similarly here, this just says your characters have +2 health. So this is +2 to everybody on my board, whether I switch them out or not. Whereas this is like a +4 to the character that I recruit. So it's kind of like over time, this is going to be more stats that it's giving you, but this is like more now. And it protects you from, like, if you get rid of the character that gets this health, it's just like just a flat thing. This one says I transform into a copy of the next treasure you discover. I'm going to go with the Worn Shield. So I drag that down here, and that's just going to go over here. There's no limit to the number of treasures you can have. So there are some games where you're going to have like an insane amount, and some games where you're just going to have like 0 to 2 or 3. Now, once you get past the first couple of rounds, in addition to characters in the shop, you'll also be offered a spell. So up here, this is a spell, and this says heal a cracked heart. So this is a cracked heart right here. When you have half a heart, that's called a cracked heart. So heal a cracked heart and see a new shop. So let's just do that. So I'm back to full, and it was a free heal essentially. Okay, so every time you get a spell or you get a character. So this one gives a slot +2/+2. And you can see also that now I'm being offered these uncommon characters. So there's like a rarity. It's not really rarity exactly, but it's like quality of character. Common, and then uncommon, and later we'll see rare and higher. Okay, this one says, at the start of each fight, my attack and health become the higher of the 2. Let's just do that, just so we can see how that works. And let's see here. Okay, I'm gonna pick Wink. We'll see if this works. So Wink is, not very strong, but if you can hunt, buffs from Fae give an additional +1/+1 for the rest of the game. So my Puck here is a Fae. Right now he gives +3 attack. If I could get a hunt with Wink here, then Puck would be giving +4/+1. Another one would be +5/+2. And there are other Fae characters that give buffs, and it's a fun thing if you can crank them up. So I'm going to try to do it. So I'm going to get rid of, let's see. Let's get rid of Puss in Boots here. We'll put Wink in that slot, and Puck is boosting him, so I've got a chance at a hunt. It's not guaranteed, But another thing I'm going to do is now that Jealous Stepsisters have completed their quest, I'm going to get them out of the Puck buff zone. I'm going to put Busted Bot there instead, because Puck gives +3 attack to this bot, but also when he dies, it'll also give +3 to the bot that comes in instead, the bot pilot. Okay. And I'm going to put Symmetry up here because this is going to turn into a 7/7 because the health is higher, so the attack will match it. There we go. All right, I got the hunt. There's the boosted bot pilot. And okay, I won the fight. Fantastic. So Athena gave +2 health to Puck, and all the ones that died are going to get +2 attack. Okay, there's the silver busted bot. But let's manage my team first. Okay, so Symmetry, remember her health is going to boost up to match her attack. But if I put her here, then it's going to be a larger boost because the attack is 13, so the health will boost up to 13. So I think I'm okay doing that and not boosting the busted bot here. By the way, there's the boosted Fey buff on Puck. Yeah, let me take the silver busted bot. Okay. Let's take the silver Symmetry. Remember, silvers give you a bonus shop, so you can just keep getting silvers if you want to. Twinkle Twinkle Spell. The next character you recruit has +4/+4. It's okay. Typically, I like to take characters more. Okay, let me show you another mechanic in this game. So you can recruit, but my team is full now. So if I drag down to an existing character, it will go away. So I already did that, right? I took Wink and my Puss in Boots just disappeared. But let's look at Peter Pan. He has a recruit ability. That means when you pick him, it does something, which is buffs from Fae give an additional +1 health for the rest of the game. So that would mean my Puck would be giving +4/+2. And if I can find any other Fae, they would be buffed. Their buffs would be buffed as well. The thing is, I don't really have a space on my board that I want Peter Pan to go to because he's weaker than everybody I've got. So here's what you can do. There's this little slot up here. I don't even know what this is called. But I can actually recruit to this spot. And what that does is it will give me the recruit ability. It means that later on I could find the silver version of a character, but it just doesn't go on my board. Okay, so let me just throw it up there. And you can see here that, okay, Puck's buff has been buffed. Oh, great. Here's a silver Wink. Let's take that. Ooh. This is interesting. Karma Chameleon is fun because if you can hunt with it, it transforms into a character one rarity higher than your shop. So it's uncommon. It would turn into a rare character, which is like a blue icon. But it's kind of tough because I really want my Wink to be in this spot to get the hunt. So I don't think I'm going to take that. Now here's a fun thing. Mysterious Egg. After 3 turns, I hatch into a random character one rarity higher than your shop. This is a risky thing to do because it's a 0/1 character and you have to hold on to it for three battles essentially while it's doing like nothing. So I'm not going to take it this time. It's a fun thing to try, but I want to try to make sure I survive long enough to show you some more stuff this game. So I think what I might do actually is I really want my Wink to get that hunt. And so I think I'm going to buff the slot here. So I'll drag the spell over here and you can see that there's more slot buffs. All right. And we get a little refresher on everybody's health. Okay, let's battle. All right, so Leggy Leg here, having lost all hearts, is now out of the battle. Okay, so my shop is now rare, which means I'm going to start seeing these blue rare characters. So here is a Fae. Farewell, give your shop +6/+3. Normally, that would be +4/+0. But I've gotten 2 Wink hunts so far. So that's +2/+2. And then the Peter Pan recruit was +1 health there. So that's +6/+3. So that's pretty cool. I think I want that. The symmetry would be nice because it's a golden character, and golden characters get you a treasure of that rarity. And often they're like stronger versions of the character, although the symmetry is actually the same. It doesn't change the way the ability works. So you know what? I'm not going to take the symmetry here because I've been buffing up these Fae buffs, and here's a Fae that can take advantage of it. So I'm going to take that. I think the busted bot can probably go. It's either that or the stepsisters. It's kind of either way. I'll get rid of the stepsister, but I'm going to put it up here. Okay, here's a spell. Give a character treasure hoard, which means if a character has treasure hoard 1, then it means it gets +1/+1 for each treasure you have. Well, I've got 1 treasure here. So that's not a very exciting spell right now. Fun Gal says, recruit, your next shop is all Fae. That's kind of interesting, right? Because I'm boosting Fae. Okay, let's do that. But again, she's like weaker than everything I have. So we'll just chuck her up here. And I'm out of shops for this round, so we'll have to wait till after the battle to get that Fae shop. Okay, now. Symmetry, let's always pay attention to this. 15, 17. So the attack would jump up to 17. But it's currently being boosted by Puck here. So if I move the symmetry over here, that's more of a boost. That's going to be +4 attack. Doing it this way is only +2. So let's do that. And away we go. Oh no, the slash didn't die, so I didn't get the shop buff. By the way, give your shop +7/+4 means like all the characters that appear in the shop just show up with that buff already, which is really great. Okay, so here's my Fae options. Recruit, repair a cracked heart. Okay, I don't have a cracked heart. When you golden me, gain an additional heart, which is pretty cool. By the way, once a heart is empty, you can't heal it. So repair a cracked heart means just if it's half a heart. If you got an empty heart, recruiting this actually doesn't do anything. Unless you golden it, then you'll get a new full heart. Okay, or I can upgrade slash to silver. Or, I could take Sugar Plum Fairy, which says recruit. When you recruit a Fae, including me, give your shop +4/+5 for the rest of the game. So that seems pretty fun. I think I can lose this busted bot here. Meow. My shop's, a golden wink. Let's just do that. Okay, so you can see how goldening works. Now, when you take a golden character, it doesn't give you a bonus shop. Only silver characters give you a bonus shop when you take them. But instead, what it's going to do is it's going to get me a treasure. Let's take Wink. And now I get to choose one of these 3 uncommon treasures. Okay, one of them says your first character has farewell +5/+5. So that would be Wink when he dies. Just gets +5/+5. It's kind of good to just keep him scaling. Wand of Strength, when you cast a spell, the next character you recruit has +3/+3. It's okay. Tiger's Paw, your first character has Hunt. Give my slot +4/+4. So these are kind of similar. The Dragon's Fangs gives +5/+5 to the character itself when it dies. And dying is easier than hunting most of the time. But this gives the buff to the slot itself, which means if I ever replace this character, that buff will still be there. So I'm going to try the Tiger's Paw. Let's see if I can make that work. And let's see, symmetry 16, 14, 22, 18. So that'd be +4 there, +2 there. So let's move it over there. Puck is now giving +6/+4. Let's hope the slash can die. Nice, I got the hunt. So that's going to get both hunts there. The Wink's own hunt, giving +2/+2 now to fairy buffs, Fae buffs. but also +4/+4 to the slot. So that's great news. You can see Puck is now giving a boosted support. Sugar Plum Fairy's got a boosted thing. Slash is boosting the shop. All right, no Fae here. Now my shop is epic level, so I'm starting to see epic characters. I'm not going to explain like every single character in the shop, okay? I'm just going to recruit one of these epic ones. Now, White Whale here is big, 2931. That's bigger than most of the things I have. However, farewell, your opponent finds a common treasure. So it's big, but your opponents are going to get treasures out of them. And at the moment, I kind of don't want to replace anything. If anything, I might replace Puck, but that's still +8/+6 support, which is no joke. I want to keep the Fae because I want to keep like buffing my shop as much as I can. So I'm just going to recruit, I'm going to recruit Medusa here over this way just to get an epic in there and maybe find an epic treasure later. Now here's a Fae, Sunflary, support +12/+13. Okay, great. Well, that can take the place of Puck. Puck has done a great job, a common character that's lasted all this way, but it's time for Sunflary to take his place. That also triggers my Sugar Plum Fairy, boosting the shop. All right. 30-31, 18-18. Okay, so unfortunately, because Sunflary gives kind of an even stat line, I can't keep like moving the symmetry around to get big changes. So, I mean, it's still +1 this way. And I kind of want Slash to be weaker so that he dies, so that I get this farewell. Great, Slash died. Okay. Now, one thing I want to point out with the way that the health worked there as well is, you know, I have 4 characters left. So I said that means you lose a full heart, but you can't, he had half a heart to start. So he just loses whatever was left. You don't lose like down to this half one. You know what I mean? So essentially, if you have anything in a heart, then you lose all of it. If your opponent has 3 or more characters. He had half a heart, so whether I had 4 characters or 1 character, it would just be emptying that heart in that case, because 2 or less is half a heart damage. That would be all of that, and more, just that would be all of it. Okay, so the heart stuff is like a little complicated at first, but once you get a feel for it, it's okay. But it can't be explained in like one sentence. You kind of have to learn how it works. I think we've covered it all though at this point. So just to recap, if you lose a fight and your opponent has 1 or 2 characters, you lose half a heart. If they have 3 or more, you lose a full heart. But if you have anything in the heart, you just lose it. So anyways, now, I don't know if we've covered the fact that you can heal hearts by winning fights. I don't think this has happened yet. But if you have like half a heart and you win a fight, then it heals that heart back to full. Okay, but remember, if your heart is empty, it can't be healed. All right. Okay, here's another Fae because this counts as all types. I think this symmetry can go. This G-Man is epic and is pretty good. G-Man, champion of eternity. When I'm attacked, I gain attack equal to the attacker's current health. So essentially, if somebody attacks G-Man, they die, and he gets a permanent attack boost. So that's pretty good. At a certain point, I'm going to have to start replacing Slash here. I'm just kind of like greeting as much as I can to like boost the shop as much as I can. So I think I'm going to keep greeting because it's just fun. So I'm going to take Katamari. We're going to get rid of symmetry. So normally Katamari is when I attack, I get +1/+1. But because I've been cranking Fae buffs, it's now this. Here's another Fae. Support, when a character in front of me attacks, give it +8/+9. That's also +1/+1 by default. Now, Sunflary is giving flat support, 14/15, which is better than 8/9. But this is like permanent buffs each time the thing attacks. So I think I'm actually going to swap that in. Which, you know, makes me weaker temporarily. I'm really greeting this. We'll see if I can get away with it. Looks like I will get away with it, and Slash died again. Perfect. Okay, now you might be wondering, like, are my opponents waiting for me as I talk through and explain all of this? Is everyone like, come on, Bludgeon, like, please take your turn? No, actually, this game is played in asynchronous mode by default. So the players I'm playing against, those are real boards made by real players who played real games. But the server is just like, pick them out of the ether for me to fight against. So we're not actually directly like I'm adapting to them, but they're not adapting to me. And so there are pros and cons to that approach, which we can talk about more. But just to let you know, like, the other players are not waiting for me. But you can, if you want to, play in a live lobby with other players. So you can see that the characters in my shop are big now because of all these awesome shop buffs that I have accomplished. But I actually still want to greed. It's maybe getting time to get rid of the Sugar Plum Fairy. I mean, how can I turn down like a 59, 58? So we'll do that. The Spoiled Prince, by the way, when you get a new toy, I get +4/+4. Toy means like a character of that type. So all of the characters have types, right? Fae, hero, Fae hero, villain, animal villain, pirate animal villain. Okay. Now I have leveled up to a legendary shop, and so I'm starting to see legendary characters. So here's one, Guardian of the Grove. When one of your animals attacks, give all of your animals +5/+5. I only have one animal, but it's still a giant character. Wink maybe is also, maybe I don't need to be buffing my Fae anymore. It's kind of been done. The spell, by the way, True Love's Kiss, transform a character into a random character 1 rarity higher. So I could turn a rare into an epic, for example, but it's not that exciting because I have a legendary already in the shop. It's nice when you can do it to a legendary. Legendary is the highest level of character you can get from the shop normally, but there's like a secret rarity higher called Secret Rare, but there's only a few ways to get them, and one is True Love's Kiss. Transforming a legendary will turn it into a secret rare character. All right, I'm going to take the Guardian of the Grove here. It's time for Slash to go away. I'm going to put the Katamari first and the Guardian of the Grove second, and I'm going to put the Spoiled Prince up here. I'm just putting my big stats in the front now. And Wink, if he ever gets to slay or hunt, that's great. Yeah, I think that was the right call. You can see my opponent's characters are also getting kind of bigger here. That's it for him. Okay. Goodie Bag is one of the strongest. I'm not sure if they're called characters, but I'm going to call them characters. One of the strongest characters that there is because of this Farewell ability. Farewell, summon a random common character, then give it my stats. Now, normally Goodie Bag is a 1/1 character. So, it dies and it summons a random common character and gives it +1/+1. Not that exciting, but when you've cranked the stats in your shop where Goodie Bag is 56, 55, that means it's going to summon a random common character and then give it +56, +55. Now, there is also just a Nessie, which is just a giant animal, 104, 105. But I'm going to take the Goodie Bag because it has, well, am I? I mean, the Nessie is an animal that works better with my Guardian of the Grove. Yeah, you know what? I think I'm going to do that. The Goodie Bag is like a much stronger sort of scaling thing because, by the way, the buffs that it gives to the character that it summons are permanent. So if you find that character in the shop later, it'll have those buffs still on it. Or if you summon it again later, it'll have those buffs and then you add more buffs. But I think I just kind of want to close this game out. So I'm going to take Nessie. We're going to get rid of Wink here. And I kind of want more animals now just to go with this Guardian of the Grove. So let's take Scar. I think we can get rid of the Spoiled Prince. All right, let's do it. So I've got 2 opponents left, each with 1 heart. I'm still at full. This looks pretty good. All right, so that one's out. 1 left. Okay, so I can silver Nessie, which is pretty good because look at that. Look at the stat line. So the other nice thing about buffing shops is that the silvers also get buffed relative to the bronze. So instead of just having like +1/+1 over their bronze, they have like plus whatever your shop has. So the uncommon treasure is fine, but like that's just too big of an increase to ignore. Plus getting another shop. Let's do this because it's a big stat boost and another shop. Okay, Kraken is a great animal. Hunt, give all 3 front row slots +8/+8. I think I'll take that over Tink because it's going to get a bunch of buffs here. This would have been cool earlier. It's still not bad. Each fight, give all of your characters +12/+10. I could theoretically take that over the Scar, who is an animal. The thing is, he's going to be receiving all of the buffs from all these. So you know what? I'm not even going to do it. But you know what I am going to do? I'm going to take Punxsutawney Phil instead of Scar because look at this. Farewell. If I haven't attacked this fight, summon a copy of me. So if they somehow attack Phil like a bunch of times in a row, he just keeps coming back to life until such time as he actually attacks. It's one of the most annoying characters in the game. All right, Rogue Leader here is at half a heart. And so if I win, it's over. Now, one more heart rule to explain here. If Rogue Leader does win this fight, I will lose a full heart regardless of how many characters he has. As long as he has 1 character left, therefore winning the fight, I'll lose a full heart. Whenever it comes down to only 2 players left alive, then losing a fight costs you a full heart regardless of how many characters they have left. I think that's the final nuance in the heart saga. Let's go. Oh, he's got big stuff, but not as big as my stuff. Okay, that's it. It's over. So we will click finish and we'll collect our rewards. And so one thing to note with this game is it is an auto battler, but there is a collectible aspect to it. And so each leader, each captain is going to have their own pool of cards. At the start, they're all just going to have access to the common pool. And then as you win fights, they're going to unlock extra little cards that you'll only see when you're playing with that captain. But once you unlock enough cards for a captain, you can then kind of do a little bit of deck building. Essentially, you can decide which cards you want to include on that captain or not. And cards you include on that captain have a chance to appear in the shop when you're playing as that captain. So it just changes, like, it means that depending on which captain you're using, you might see different characters coming up in your shops, which is kind of interesting. So that's the collectible aspect of the game. And that's also where the game is trying to make its money. It's hard to make money on these auto battler games. And so that's where they've got it. So there's like I haven't really paid anything for this game. And I enjoy it just fine, just kind of unlocking things slowly as I go. I'm fine with it. But if you want to, you can buy like, a battle pass, which is going to unlock stuff faster. You can buy gems and, that's the ticket. And then captains as well. There's like a large pool of free captains, but then I think every month there's a new captain introduced with the battle pass. This is the battle pass here. And this is the store. So right now, for example, the Galaxy Pass unlocks this captain. But whatever captains appear in the Galaxy Pass will appear in the common free pool, like I think 2 months later, maybe. So that's how it works. And that is your introduction to Once Upon a Galaxy. I hope you enjoyed this. I think it's a really fun game. Now that I was slow playing that game because I was explaining things as I was going. But if you just play the game, you can play a game in like 10 minutes. So that's one of the things I really like about it. It's a great game to just like, play when you're like waiting for the bus, or I play with my girlfriend a lot. We're like having breakfast together and we're playing against each other in a live lobby. or, you know, in bed. You probably shouldn't do that, but, you know, people do, and I do. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed this. Maybe more to come, but this was just an introduction to show you the game. It's available on mobile, and there's a Steam client, which I'm using right now, which is still in early access, I think. But if you get into their Discord, you can get a Steam code for it if you want to. That's it. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you have not, and tune into my other content, which is usually Dune Imperium, live streaming that every Sunday morning Eastern time. Take care. Let me know what you think. Bye-bye.